Hi, and welcome to Dramatic Knits. My name is Steve, also known as Dramatic Knits.
And I'm Callie, also known as Calsters.
And today is Tuesday, July 4th, 2017. This is episode 285. Well, happy July 4th to those of you in the United States celebrating today. Hopefully you are having a lot of fun and family time maybe, and some outdoor time, yet not too warm. It was a little warm this morning when I was mowing the grass, but Kelly and I had some time today to record, so that's why we're recording today. So here we are. And how have you all been? It's been forever and a day. I'm going to warn you right now, my voice is a little not used to talking so much, so it may go out, may get a little raspy towards the end. So it is Tuesday, July 4th, and I'm excited to have some dinner tonight and go watch some fireworks in town. They always do a really nice job. So let's just jump right into our weeks in review.
Let us.
All right, so most recently, why we did not record this past weekend on Sunday is I have been rather under the weather for the past week. Don't really know what it was, if it was some sort of flu or cold. You would think I'd know the difference, but it was weird. I had symptoms of both. I wasn't like puking and my nose wasn't running or anything, but I was going through extreme chills and hot flashes and cold sweats 4 to 5 times a day. I'm having a fever all the time and breaking it, and spent a lot of time in bed. My neck and was hurting, and that would go through to my eyeballs, and then I was all achy, and I went to the doctor finally on Friday, and he was not of much help, which just kind of really reaffirms that I really should be looking for a new doctor, and I'm not very happy with him. And there was also some issues with my blood sugar levels being very, very high for me, and so I felt like while that was, yes, a pressing matter, that was the only thing my doctor wanted to focus on, rather than, as I told him, which turned out to be the case, it was something due to me being sick that was then influencing my blood sugars. So, anyway, I was not feeling great up until about yesterday. I started feeling a little bit better, and today I'm decently pretty good. I had some stuff in my ears yesterday, so still a little bit there. My voice is still a little shaky, but since we've seen you last, I have been to Minnesota and back. I attended the Zombie Apocalypse retreat as an attendee and a vendor, and it was a lot of fun. If you follow me on Instagram, you probably wondered where I was. It was just one of those events I never took my camera out and took a photo. And about 2 days into the event, I just said, well, you know what? It's been 2 days. Let's just take a social media break and enjoy the retreat. Rather than enjoy it behind a camera lens, let's, just enjoy the company that I had and take in everything about the experience of being there. So Wednesday morning, Amber Yarn Hoarder picked me up, and we drove up to Madison, Wisconsin, and picked up our friend Liz, who flew in from Florida, and then we drove on the rest of the way to Rochester. We got there and checked in and got to our hotels, and just had a good evening. And Thursday was really good. I taught my boomerang class for the first time, and just kind of hung out and had opening ceremonies. And then Friday, I taught my second boomerang class, and I sat in on Java Jenny's 2 at a time sock class. Not for me, but it was interesting to kind of hear how it worked and to wrap my brain around it. And I also sat in on Megan Just Run It. She's one of the Stockinette Zombies, the organizers of the Zombie Apocalypse, and Corey, I Rock Knits. They premiered their new knitting book, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit, at the Zombie Apocalypse, and they did a class talking about their stories and inspirations behind each of the patterns. And so I sat in on that class, and they passed around all their samples and everything, and it was really interesting to hear, where they came from and what they were trying to accomplish with each of the designs. And at that point during the class, Andy showed up. He drove up Friday with the truck and trailer, and luckily we were able to park our trailer in the little alleyway behind where the event was being held, like we did last year, so that worked out nicely. And we had the teachers' dinner on Friday night, which was great Italian food. And then Saturday was the market, and we were up early setting up, and we got to finish a little early, so we went and had some breakfast, came back, vended, wrapped up shop, got everything packed away, and enjoyed closing ceremonies. And then we had dinner with some good friends that we got to know throughout the retreat, or have known. And that was pretty much it. So Sunday I woke up and we were like, well, let's go have pannkuchen, which is kind of tradition if you attend the retreat or go to Rochester. And so Andy and I walked down after checking out of the hotel, and I said, I am just not feeling good. And I thought I was a little hungover from 2 cocktails I had Saturday night, but it was the start of whatever crud I got. So it was pretty much a whole week that I had that crud, and I'm glad to be back to normal. So that's pretty much was my recap of ZK. I'm going to go over market purchases and everything later, and a few other things that I got as some presents and whatnot. But that's been my 2 weeks. It's been kind of a whirlwind, except for the last week, which felt like it would never end. But we're ramping it back up, getting ready to... We've got a lot of shows coming up in the next month that are back to back to back, so we're trying to hit the die pots as hard as we can. So,
cool.
You?
Well, glad you're feeling better.
Thank you. I am too.
I had a minor surgery 2 weeks ago. It went well. And then I got new lenses for my glasses and new sunglasses, which world of difference between last prescription and this prescription. So really happy about that. Because I can read things far away now, which is key. And just been working out a lot. Fair entry was closed on July 1, which was a Saturday, and it's been a little bananas at the office because the person that is supposed to be handling that was out on vacation on Friday, so I got to work with all of our parents and families that waited to the last minute to register, and then subsequently I got to deal with all of the phone calls on why people didn't register in time yesterday. So customer service skills have really improved over the last 4.5 years that I've worked there. So doing well with that. And other than that, it's just busy, busy, busy. It's the summer.
That it is. We are full-fledged into summer.
It is.
Today was the first time I mowed my lawn that I was like, oh my dear God, it's so hot. And I had, by the time I got through the front yard, which our front yard's not that big, but it does take longer than you think. I had sweat rag going for the backyard. And
it was, when I came through town on my way home from work yesterday, it was 92 degrees at 5:30. It's really hot.
We were spoiled in Minnesota. I think it was cooler here too, but it was in the 60s and 70s. It was actually chilly at certain points, which is odd. It's never been that cool while I've been there. So,
yeah.
Anyway, shall we get to the knitting? Y'all ready for some knitting? I have a finished object. I didn't think I would, but I do. Ha! But it's also going to run into kind of some Leading Men fiber art stuff. So, as you know, I've been trying to knit swatches to take pictures of our new colorways. And our July colorway of the month is currently up for pre-orders. And I, even in my illness, let me tell you, it was not easy. Got a swatch done. I got all the way up to the crown decreases, and I was like, well, that's good enough to take the photo. But I finished the crown decreases yesterday. So I knit a worsted weight hat, and I went to the larger size that I've been doing. So I did 96 stitches on a size 6 brim and 8 body. And our new colorway is called Grease Lightning. And it looks like this. So it is kind of neon-tastic. It has pops of magenta and persimmon orange and electric yellow and aqua and a spearmint green. So you can see just the slightest bit of some spiraling happening on the brim, but then it did its speckle-tastic goodness at the hat. So, and then I got my decreases that I do, which is kind of a knit two together, knit to a certain amount, and then SSK, and then I knit a plain round. So like the first time I do it at, over 12 stitches, then over 10, 8, blah, 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 blah. So, I like my hat. It's a sloucher hat, but I think for donating these, I think it's going to be the best option. We were donated some prizes for the podcast by our fairy yarn mother, and there, did you see the neon green pom-pom? I really was tempted to put it on here, but I have a lot of hats that I'm going to be donating to Operation Chemo Comfort this fall that have pom-poms on them, and I think there are people who will enjoy them, but there are also a lot of people who don't want to draw as much attention, so I figure this hat is probably loud enough without the pom-pom. So there's that, and yep, so I finished a hat. That was what I got done in the last 2 weeks.
Where'd you draw the inspiration for the colorway?
I don't know, it just kind of reminded me of kind of all the flashes of color in Grease, especially some of the posters that I've seen, and I actually posted a picture with the Instagram photo that we did of this that has a lot of the colors for the a musical poster. So, just reminded me of like that white garage with I know there's no black in it, but like the white scene with all the pops of neon. Especially the yellow made me think of lightning. Meh. So I enjoy it, and pre-orders are up in the shop now for that if you are interested through till the 8th. And there will be no, before I forget, there will be no colorway for August. We're taking August off. That's our second month we're taking off this year due to Stitches and all the other shows that we have going on. So. All right.
I don't have anything. I was real close.
But that means you'll have something next time.
Yes.
Okay, so let's move into what's performing. The first thing is my Rogers-esque cardigan jacket by Mary Townsend. I know I said it'd be done this week, but let me tell you, you don't want to seam... When you don't want to seam in general, you really don't want to seam when you feel like crap. And I told myself, if I'm not forcing myself to get this done, why would I force myself to seam when I don't want to? So, I got back into it yesterday, and I finished up the second side seam. So I have tried it on. Again, we'll see once I get buttons and everything. It may close, it may look a little tight, it does hug some of my curves on my spare tire on the side. We'll see, I'm withholding judgment until it's done. But I'm super happy with my mattress stitching, guys. Can you even see? I mean, that's some good seaming. If you take your time.
Yeah. It looks good.
I know. Don't look at the underarm. It's not that bad. There's this one. I think. See over here? Oh, look at that. Look at that seam. I mean, it shows up more detailed on the camera than it does in real life, but I was super proud of myself. Taking my time to learn how to seam properly, so.
Nice.
Anyway, now I've just got the collar to do, which is still a lot, but hopefully by next time. All right, next up is my Starting Point Mystery Knit Along by Joji Locatelli. I'm using all Leading Men Fiber Arts Show Stealer in London Fog, Double Your Pleasure, a custom speckle Darkest Hour and Smoky Quartz on a size 6 US 4mm needle. I am still on clue 4. I worked on this some this morning. I'm on clue 4 of the first half. Then I got to do 4 clues of the second half, and then clue 5 on joining all of them together. But the mystery's been revealed, so I'm not spoiling anybody. So here's where we're at, and I'm on the very last portion. I'm a little disappointed because I did the no lace version, and there was no alternative in this section for not putting in eyelets. So it just seems weird that I did not do eyelets at all. And then, I mean, I guess maybe I could have omitted them, but I didn't know if they were going to impact the finished result or not. So either way, it's going to, I think, accent the center section, which is what this big dark band is supposed to do. It's almost going to make a big cross, a big X in the middle of the stole. So there's that. And so that's going. I do enjoy that. I didn't take this with me to Minnesota. It also didn't get any love. But I do have a bunch of new projects to show you. Alright, so next up is my Gills Rock by Paula Emmons Feasley. I'm using Quince & Company Finch in the slate colorway on a size 6 US 4mm needle. And this is a super quick knit, guys. I worked on this in the mornings in the hotel. There was a beautiful little reading nook in our hotel room that was great for knitting and putting up my pattern. And since this was really the only thing that I brought with a pattern, I worked on it in the hotel room away from people. So I'm finishing up the first of 3 charts, or the first 3 charts, and then I got to go back and do the first 2. It's a small shawlette, but hopefully it'll open up and block out. So, and I'm almost done with the first 50 gram skein. After that is my Father Time cowl, which is designed by me. I'm using a Leading Men Fiber Arts sock blank that never got named. It's one of a kind anyway. And I'm using a size 4 US, which is a 3.5mm needle. And I did work on this a good deal at the retreat because it is so mindless. This is all I have left of the sock blank. And again, I will use everything, every last bit of it. So here's where we're at, minus my tail. So I got a lot of work done on it. Again, it's got an unintentional Mobius in there. Leading Man just got home and both the dogs are up here and they're very inquisitive, but one can't make it down the stairs and the other one can't make it down the stairs without falling anymore, so at least they're being quiet up here. They're watching him at the top of the stairs.
Serious guard dogs.
Yeah. But they know it's Dad. That's why they're not barking. Alright, next up, my new cast-ons. The Bell Star Socks. These are out of... And they are in some bag that I have somewhere. Seriously? Where did I put them? Oh, right here. I got too many projects. These are out of Show Me Yarns Boot Heel base in the Bell Star colorway. And I got a really good far way into this at the retreat, and then I stopped because I didn't have my little measuring tool. And since I'm doing these, sorry for Amber, I wanted to make sure I measured. And I think I still have a while to go before I put in the toe and then the afterthought heel. So these were getting so many compliments while I was working on them, and I knew quite a few people bought this colorway because they were vending at the retreat. So you can see I put in the waist yarn. I did 20 rounds down the leg of 2x2 ribbing, and then I did 60 more rounds before I put in the afterthought heel. And these are on a size 1.5 US 2.25mm needle. And then I started a new boomerang in my boomerang class. And this is a different modification that I've done on this that I had not done before. And by the way, I did forget to mention that I did teach the boomerang class at my local yarn store. Was not feeling the best that night, but I got through it. And we have a trunk show going on there. It's supposed to be picked up Saturday, but I wasn't feeling great, so it's going to be picked up on Thursday. Anyway, so what I'm doing is I showed you my leftovers from my 5-inch fade last episode, and so I am striping every other row, just carrying up the top edge, 2 colors. And so the 2 yarns here are Death Rides a Horse in Knitting in Colors Acoustic Sock, and Tart from Madeline Tosh Merino Light. So I'm calling this project Death Rides a Tart Horse.
I'm just putting out there that I really like this.
Okay.
Really like this.
Okay. I see what you're doing there. So, again, I won't be teaching it again until next year, so we'll see. Maybe I have to put away a Christmas gift. So there's that, and that takes me to the end of my works in progress.
Just a few.
Just a few things.
I'm only actively working on one thing, and it's The Girl from the Grocery Store by Hoki Locatelli, and I am 2 rows away from being done. So I'm using Cascade Heritage Sock Yarn in an orange colorway and a plum colorway.
2 rows, you said, from being done?
Yes.
That's crazy.
I know, right? And I don't even know what I'm on. I think I'm on a 6.
Well, let me look at the show notes. So, right? Yes,
I am
you're
on
on
a
a 6.
6.
Yes. Because those are
'Cause
still from last week.
Yep.
Or last episode.
But it's going really well. I will say that reading is key and fundamental in life and in pattern reading. So I've made my fair share of mistakes in this, but you really can't tell, because I think that's the beauty with Hohi's patterns, at least this one for sure, is that my striping here is different than her pattern, but you really, unless you knew that, you wouldn't have really been able to tell. Like, if you were, like, counting it, you would know. But it's huge. It is gigando. And I don't even want to think about how to block this. I mean, it's definitely smaller than a Find Your Fade, for sure. But I honestly am probably going to give this as a gift. Because as much as I like knitting it, I will never... Orange is not a color that I wear well. Should have thought about that through a little bit more. Oh well.
My knitting philosophy, I've been talking a lot about this in my classes I've been teaching, is I knit to knit. Every stitch should be pleasurable. And that's what you should be getting out of it. And the product is something, an added bonus.
Yeah, I'm thinking about putting this up in our Pay It Forward.
Cool.
So that may be available for a Pay It Forward next week. Next time we record, I guess I should say.
So let's move into rehearsal. For myself, eventually, when I get something off the needles, I'm going to cast on a Girl from the Grocery Store out of some recent yarn acquisitions from my local yarn store that I showed last episode. And that's all that I have actively planned to be on the needles soon.
I want to get a shawl that I had started. It's the Snow Day shawl by Mina Phillips. I think that's what it's called, but it's a Mina Phillips pattern. I started it a while ago, so I'd like to finish that. And then I might cast on Pure Joy by Hoki Locatelli in hedgehog fibers that I purchased from our local yarn store.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, behind the scenes, what am I spinning? I am working on the last little bits of some Three Waters Farm BFL in the early blooming colorway. This is the last third of the second 2 ounces. I'm working on the second third of the 2 ounces. And then I also, because I always forget, not that it's much to see, brought over my bobbin. This is my Hanson mini e-spinner bobbin from Maker Works. And this is the first 2 ounces. This looks like nothing on here because these bobbins are huge compared to my old Ashford ones. But this is 2 ounces. And everyone's like, ooh, you can see the colors. I mean, you can kind of see them, but you guys aren't going to see them on camera. But Callie can see a little bit of the green back there. And
it's a pretty green.
it's more impressive when you ply or when you do get more on it that you can see them. All right, so that's my spinning. So let's move into in the spotlight. What are we watching and reading? 2 shows that I'm watching. I haven't really watched any movies that I can think of. Still watching Penny Dreadful. I'm in season 3. I've only got a couple more episodes left. Interesting where kind of everybody's stories broke off and everybody's got their own thing kind of going. We'll see. This is the last season. There was only 3 seasons, so. And then we're also really enjoying Andy and I, The Great British Baking Show. Been staying on top of that. They had Batter Week last week, so that's the first time they've ever done batter as a challenge. So they had to make signature churros at the end. That was their one, and then they had to make a few other things. But enjoy it. I'm a little sad that I don't think it'll be coming back to PBS and all that stuff. So, but that's pretty much all I'm watching. Still listening to something, but again, when I finish it, I'll let you know.
I'm not really watching a whole lot, but I am reading The Moth. Okay, I should say. NPR has a show called The Moth, and for those of you that are not familiar with The Moth, it's a storytelling program. A lot of times it'll be themed. It could be like the wilderness, it could be death, it could be any host of topics. So The Moth it's a collection of stories, but they published a book a while ago, and then they just published this year. It's called These Wonders, and it's another set of previously told stories that have been told on air, and I really like it. I mean, I love The Moth. I think it's a great program. I try to listen to it when I can. If you have iTunes, I know that you can download it and listen to it that way as well, in case if you don't have NPR where you're at or it doesn't come in clearly. But I will say from a tactile perspective, I know that there's people that read ebooks, but this book is absolutely stunning on a tactile level. Like, there's no dust jacket or anything, so it's just a regular hardcover book, and it's imprinted with, like, some gold foil on it that outlines the moth and the lettering and that kind of thing. It's just a gorgeous book. So, like, that makes my heart sing, because it's different than what's kind of out there right now on a mass market level. So, if you're a fan of this show, it is really a stunning book. So that's my recommendation. Haven't finished it yet, but I am trying to read a story a day and kind of savor it. So, yeah.
Cool. I just realized I never turned on our fake light, or our fake daylight. So it's all pure daylight. And I was like, why am I kind of a little bit darker in this lighting shifting? So luckily we've got the daylight on our hands. But anyway.
Yes.
So let's talk about our featured designer knit along.
Yes. So it started on June 1 and will go until August 31. We have a locked thread with all of our designers that we've had in the past, people that have donated to our Race to the Finished Object prize thread. You can use any pattern from any one of those designers. It can be a paid-for pattern, it could be a pattern you won, it could be one of their free patterns. Doesn't matter. You can use any base of yarn, but if you use Leading Men Fiber Arts, you get 2 entries into the Finished Object thread. Post all of your finished objects into the FO thread. You can double dip, we don't really care. So yeah, any questions, either email me or send me a private message. Get a hold of me somehow. Smoke signals.
And we've only had a few entries so far, so I'm sure there'll be more rolling in. But if we do hit over 50 entries, we will add more prizes. We'll start off with one and add more as we get more entries. So we're excited to see where that goes.
Yes.
All right, let's move into stash enhancement. I wasn't a horrible boy. I was pretty bad. But I wasn't horrible at the market at the Zombie Apocalypse. So let me show you, first of all, the goodie bag this year. There was a bunch of stuff in it. I passed on some things to Callie that I thought she might enjoy. There's a nice little pouch from the Silver Shed USA that I felt just wasn't my style, but I thought Callie would be able to use it, especially. I noticed a lot of people really enjoying it for being able to knit on the go. It'd be good for socks. I got a wonderful gift from my friend Cheryl, which is a mug, and I think it's one of those color-changing mugs, so I think I'll be interested. I haven't drank out of this yet to see what shows up when I put some hot liquid in this. But it says, I will knit on a boat, I will knit with a goat, I will knit in the train, I will knit in the rain, I will knit with a fox, I will knit in a box, I will knit with a mouse, I will knit in a house, I will knit here or there, I will knit everywhere. So, I really appreciate it, and I thought it was super cute, so thank you, Cheryl.
That's cute.
She's good people.
She is. She's one of my favorite people to see at retreats because Cheryl just radiates positivity. Like, whenever I'm in Cheryl's presence, I'm like, I can do anything. I could climb a mountain if I feel like it. Let's not get crazy here. Like, I may be going to the gym and I may be more active, but there is no mountain climbing in my near future.
Which, Callie gets this from Cheryl, Cheryl's not like a, rah, she's very low-key and but she's positive and she smiles all the time.
It's true.
She's good people. We did get a beautiful mug from Deneen Pottery, which I believe is local to Rochester, for the Zombie Apocalypse this year with their little campfire logo. Excuse my phone going off. I forgot to turn it off. And so I kind of got to pick my color, and I got the green glaze at the top, which is so me. And then we got a lovely little Notions pouch, courtesy of Anne, again, the Silver Shed USA. She donated these to all 200 participants. Everybody got a little different custom bag. So I picked the frog. I thought it was cute, and I'll put it in one of my knitting bags. I also got a very cute Notions pouch from my friend Liz with some great tools in it, and it's made out of cork. It almost feels like faux leather, but, well, you think cork, you think of like the top of a wine bottle. I do, but I thought it was really cute, so I enjoyed that. And then, let's see, in our goodie bags, everybody got 3 half skeins of yarn from 4 different dyers. I think there was 716 Knit, 3 Irish Girls, Brew City Yarns, and maybe there was only 3. I can't think of the 4th. I got 3 Irish Girls in their Cash Adorn Luxe, which is 85% merino, 15% nylon, in 3 different half skeins. This one, to be honest, I don't know what's what. I think this one's The Ants Go Marching. They were based off of the color wars they had going on with the retreat. Skinny Dippin', maybe? And Capture the Flag. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I thought maybe of doing like a simple triangle shawl and fading the colors together. I could also do shorty socks with like 2 pairs, a pair with this with cuff heel toe, and then a pair with this with cuff heel toe. I haven't decided yet. So there was that. And then Thursday night was the yarn lottery, which you take a skein of yarn that either doesn't call to you anymore in your stash or you want to pass on, and then they call numbers and you get to go up and grab from the big allotment of yarn, the lottery of yarn that they have of what you want. And that was relatively early this year. So I picked this up mostly because it's worsted. It's 200 yards of Superwash Merino. And this is from Knitted Wit, and it's called PDX Carpet, which is taken off of the carpet at the Portland airport, which Portland is where this person is local from, I've heard. I had not heard of them before, so I liked the colors. It's got like a aqua and a green and black and a dark navy and reds. I'm interested to see how this will knit up. So this came from the Yarn Lottery. And then the door prizes, everybody did get a door prize, which was awesome this year. I was like the third or fourth to last person, which is fine. I wasn't expecting anything at all, to be honest with you. But I picked up a skein of Anzula Luxury Fibers, whom I've never tried, in their croquet base, which is 50% superwash merino, 50% tussa silk, in the colorway Misfit, and it's 230 yards of a DK weight. It's purple.
I have a different base of that yarn company, but I have it cued to be a honeycomb cow.
Cool. I can't remember if I put a pattern with this or not. I thought I had, but maybe. Alright, let's talk market. So, the first purchases I did was Suburban Stitcher was kind of behind us, and I really wanted to support Diane. I've been watching her podcast since last ZK, and I've really been liking the work that she's been doing with her yarn dyeing this past several months since she started doing it. And I was really proud of her for, taking the trek. She drove over 20 hours each way from Texas to come vend in Minnesota, and so I really wanted to support her. And so I picked up 3 skeins of her her single sock, which is 100% superwash merino, 400 yards, and a single base. And I picked up 3 skeins to do an Ambo O'Brien shawl. And so the first one is called Floral Bouquet, which was really popular. This was what she based one of her Joji Mystery Long kits. This was the speckle in it. And then to go with it, I picked up a skein of 2 AM Kisses. It's kind of a gray with purple speckles. And then lastly, Black Orchid, which is purple. And I thought those would go beautifully together in a shawl. And then just a couple booths down and across from me was Susan B. Anderson's company with her son and daughter-in-law, Barrett Wool Company. And they had a very, Barrett was the first time ever vending, but it was just streamlined. They kind of had baker's racks with stacks of yarn on it. And they had a few cute kits, but the kits were not for me. I love a good kit, but she had some of her, flower sprite kits, and then she had a couple sweater kits for the flowers and buds sweater, which has been really popular. But anyway, I picked up 2 skeins of her Wisconsin woolen spun in the fingering weight. It's 450 yards and 100 grams, and it is just, it's 100% American wool. Not superwash, not a specific breed, it's blended wools. So I picked up Penny and Oats, and I'm going to put them together in a shawl. Can't remember which one I chose. Oh, I had not heard of it before, but it was in the hot right now. It was 2 colors, so I put it with this one. Get us some lace in it. And then last but not least, I went over to Stunning String Studios, who are also local Illinoisans, up north mainly. But I'd seen them in Madison, and they do all the Stitches events, and their booth setup is really just breathtaking. And they do a lot of beautiful kits and things of that nature, and they have a lot of accoutrement tools. And so I picked up a kit for the Tranquil Mist Twinkle Kit, which is a beautiful lace shawl with beads, and it comes with 2 skeins of their Twinkle base, which is, sorry, I'm trying to read here, 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 5% silver stellina. So this is my second ever stellina yarn, but I figured for the shawl's sake, not mine, right? So it's okay. And each skein comes with 435 yards, and then it comes with a pack of crystal beads, as well as stitch markers for the kit, as well as a code for the pattern. So really liked their presentation, and it's in the Bleeding Hearts colorway. They had it in 2 different colorways, and I chose the red. So that's what I got at the market, and the damage that I did. Do you have any stash enhancement?
I don't.
Darn! 2 episodes, you've been really good.
Indeed.
Alright. So, I mentioned earlier that at ZK, the book Minnesota 52 came out. And I had pre-ordered a copy for myself, which I have in my library. And then I decided I wanted to support them a little bit further, so I got Callie a copy, and it's signed. And I also picked up a copy for you guys. So this week's giveaway is going to be for a copy of Minnesota 52, which is signed by Megan and Corey, who are these 2 lovely ladies right there. And there is a coupon code, same for you, where it takes you to a Ravelry web address. You put in the code, and you'll get the digital copy for free as well. There are 16 wonderful designs in this book. I'm not going to review it. They have sent their book to certain podcasters to review, and I'm going to let them do their job. So I don't want to kind of over bombard you if you hear it on other podcasts. But I will tell you right now, if you like sweaters, if you like color work, if you like shawls, if you like accessories, there's something in here for you. If you like granola bars, there's a pattern for you. If you like
Recipe?
There's a recipe. There's a pattern for making granola bars. There's a recipe, I'm sorry. There is there's some poetry in here by Corey to knitters. It is a book to celebrate friendship and travel, and I think it does a beautiful job with that. There's also wonderful essays in here, each stage of this journey that you're on in the book, which is really awesome. I do want to point out one pattern to you that features Leading Men Fiber Arts, which I was really honored that they chose to use my yarn. It is by Megan, and it's called the Fall Come Back Now Shawl, and this is the modeled shot of it. And I may already have a sample knitter working on it, in the hopes to have it. It will be backed by Stitches so that I can hopefully have some kits at Stitches Midwest. Here's a beautiful shot of the 2 colors. So you can see better online, but it is striped in the body of the shawl with 2 colors. She used here Acid Trip and Emerald City in our Showstopper base, and there's a lace border on 2 sides of it. But the lace is not done after the fact. It is actually done while you are knitting the stripes, and it is done in a very neat and ingenious way, using a 1-stitch brioche stitch to join the 2 colors. If you are up for trying something new and you have the brain capacity for this, I would highly recommend this pattern. The sample knitter for me was also one of the sample knitters for the book, who did the shawl for Megan, so she's knitting it again for me. And she said it was not bad. She had to learn the technique, and it was not bad. I personally don't have the mental capacity to do it right now, and in that time frame. The other awesome thing in this book that they do is they tell you what yarns they used, but they also give yarn substitutions for what you could use. And I know that I'm friends with Megan and Corey, and I know that's part of the reason, but there are 16 designs in here. 13 of them recommend Leading Men Fiber Arts. And I was very, very honored that they did that. You can come shop our booth if you have the opportunity to see us in person, or shop us online and be able to knit almost anything and know exactly what base of yarn you need and how much you need for the patterns. There's some of the color work hat, mitten, and cowl sets that I really want to do. There's a lot of people knitting some of the sweaters who ordered sweater quantities at ZK from us. So I'm really excited that to see a lot of projects popping up out of this book featuring some Leading Men Fiber Arts. So cannot recommend it enough. If you are wanting to purchase your own copy, they retail for $23. That is a steal for 16 patterns. And again, that comes with the digital code. And you could do that by going to knitcahoots.com. That's KNITCAHOOTS. Or you can look up the Minnesota 52 book on Ravelry and purchase it via Ravelry, I think for $16 and some change. So, photography was done by Gail Zucker, by the way, who is known for her photography. And she did a beautiful job in this book. So, highly recommend it. And we may have also, we may all know the printer behind this book, the family that printed this. So
They
kept it in-house. All right. So, in order to be entered for that copy, I'm going to open a thread on Ravelry. You must be a member of the Dramatic Knits group. Please post only once to be entered. And next time we record, before we record, I will lock the thread and we'll use a random number generator to pull for a winner. But I decided to ask, name a town or place in Minnesota that you are familiar with or would like to visit. I figure since it's about, traveling and journeying, it's based in Minnesota, either tell me a town that pops into your mind out of Minnesota or a place that you're familiar with or would like to visit there.
When we were, when my mom and I were up there before ZK started in 2015, we were doing all the Little House on the Prairie stops. And so there's one town, and I can't remember the name of it, but I have to say that town is, to me, iconic Minnesota when I think about it. Because, just straight up Midwest, and I know Minnesota is not necessarily Midwest, but
it is.
But it was a chicken feed store, and they had a quilting shop attached to it. And I'm really all about that, because if you've got empty space, you might as well utilize it. And I think it was owned by a husband and wife. The husband ran the grain and feed side of it, and she ran the quilt shop. Genius move. Genius.
Yeah. Well, let's move into a round of applause. In the last episode, we did a giveaway for 4 skeins of Simply Cotton Sport from Knit Picks, which is in this beautiful marshmallow color. I only have one here, but I do have all 4. Don't worry. So we asked, what was your favorite childhood memory? And you guys, it was so pleasurable to read that thread. So thank you for entering. Those of you who played along at home, we drew for a winner for these 4 skeins, and it picked number 37, who is Crafty Christine 87, and she's from Orland Hills, Illinois. So congratulations, Christine. She said she remembered trips to Disney with family and grandma. So awesome. I've never been to Disney. I don't know if I have any ambition to go. I don't like huge crowds. Or a whole lot of kids. So I'm thinking I might never go. But never say never.
They do have their food and wine festival in October, though. At Epcot.
Yeah. All right, so we had June is over. Did you know? Because it came and went like that quick.
Yeah.
So June is over, which means our Race to the Finished Object contest is over. And so we have 2 prizes. The first is a 2 skein prize. Callie picked this out from our generous prize donation. Do you want to talk about the yarn?
It is from Juniper Moon Farms, and it's the Harriet base. It's pure extra fine baby alpaca. So it is 100% alpaca, and it's 218 yards. It's in the color 1024, which is like a very dark navy.
Yeah. Andy and I looked at it, and we were debating if it's black or not. It's a dark navy.
Yeah.
If for some reason you are highly allergic to alpaca, please let me know, and we'll work something else out. But other than that, this is the prize. There's no, I don't prefer alpaca. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have to have a severe allergy. So the prize winner for this month was number 46, who is White Angel, WHT Angel 8, and that's Joanna from Arizona, and she knit a flat platypus. At least I'm assuming it's a platypus. I don't know if it's like a washcloth kind of scrubby thing, but it was the cutest thing ever. So congratulations, Joanna. Please get in contact with me, and I will get these out in the out in the mail to you. I'll get the yarn in the mail to you. I'm not allergic to alpaca, but it is making my nose itch. Okay. The second prize is a pattern from our featured designer, who is Barbara Benson. And quick side story, Barbara Benson does a YouTube channel as well. Watch Barbara Knit, I believe is what it is. I just subscribed to her. And she was recommended to be our featured designer from a lovely viewer, like you guys at home, whom I actually believe goes to our knit night. And I know this, I think, because this lady, Barbara, does a segment called Secret Shopper. And so once a month, she has people volunteer to be a secret shopper for her, and she gives them a budget and says, buy me stuff and send it to me, and I'll unbox it and open it on air. And so this past Thursday, she did her this month's secret shopper, and it was our friend Debbie from our knit night, and she sent a skein of Lederman Fiber Arts Intermission as well as some other goodies. And so I had Debbie Facebook message me to say that the video was up, and then Barbara emailed me, and I was like, Barbara, that's awesome. I said, you're also our featured designer on the podcast that I do, reminding her, and she's like, I should have known that. It's just a small world when, you know, she agreed to be our featured designer. It doesn't mean she knows who we are or everything we do. And so she had made the connection between Lederman Fiber Arts and Dramatic Knits. So thank you, Barbara, for being featured, being our featured designer. This is her first month, and the winner of one of Barbara's patterns, which it must be a self-published pattern. So if you win, she has to be able to gift it to you. If it's published through one of her books, that's through her publisher, she can't give you that. So make sure it's got to be one of her self-published patterns. That goes to number 246, who is Rose Bob, and that's Rose from the UK, and she did a pair of socks. So congratulations, Rose. You can find a link to Barbara's patterns in our show notes, which can be found at dramaticknits.com. Again, take a look through her patterns. Please make sure it's not published through a book, and as long as it's not, Barbara can gift it to you. So we have our July Race to the Finished Object contest open. Again, we'll have a lovely Yarny or book prize, and then we'll have another pattern from our featured designer, who is Barbara Benson. All right. Anything you'd like to add?
Nope.
Okay. Quick sip. Finish that off. My voice about to go. So, quickly, I wanted to remind you, July's colorway, Grease Lightning, is up for pre-order in the shop, leadingmenfiberarts.bigcartel.com, through the 8th of July. After that, again, it can be custom ordered. We'll have it up in the shop, but it won't be as widely available as it is now. I wanted to talk to you quickly about some upcoming shows. Next Monday, I'm going to be driving up to Grays Lake to do a quick event and drive right back. I'm going to be speaking at the Crocheters of the Lakes Guild meeting, be selling some yarn before their meeting, and then I will be doing a Q&A about dyeing and the business, about yarn dyeing and the business. So I'm not quite sure what to expect. Hopefully they got questions for me. So I think I'll be selling yarn from about 6 to 7, and then I'll be speaking from 7 till 8, or when I'm done, and then hitting the road and coming back home. Then on Saturday, July 15th and Sunday, July 16th, we will be in Lebanon, Missouri at Fiber U. This is our second year attending, and I will be teaching my boomerang class as well there twice. And if you were there last year, we'll be in the same location, just a little bit bigger of a booth this year. We're excited to be bringing all of our normals stuff, as well as some new kits and goodies and things of that nature. So the last show that I want to tell you about is not immediately after that, but it was a last-minute addition. We did get in last minute to the Michigan Fiber Festival in Allegan, Michigan, the other M state, or one of the other M states. I know there's more than two. Most days. Anyway, so they were completely booked full, and we showed interest, and I knew that we were a little late to the game, but they had a last-minute booth opening, so we're going to be in a single booth. I said, sure, we can downsize, and that'll get us, most definitely in for next year, which is awesome. So we're going to be in Building 8B, I believe, in booth 33. Yeah. So there's that. All right. So I have been updating a lot of stuff, and I told Callie this. I said, there's too much to show. I'm not going to take that much time. So I'm going to get Callie involved rather than just sitting here and looking at the yarn and kind of go, or. So there's a whole tub of stuff, and Callie only gets 10 items to show you. So she's going to pick out of the tub, and she's balancing a whole tub of yarn on her 2 feet, which is quite amazing a feat. And I'm going to show you 10 things, and that'll be it. So the first thing is on our Diva base, which is that new 80% superwash merino, 20% silk in the acid trip. Again, lighting not the best. Check out our website, leadingmenfiberarts.bigcartel.com to do that. Next up, we've got a mini skein set, Showstopper, 92 yards each, 20 grams each for a total of 460 yards. We've got From Left to Right, Complete Imagination, Fright Night, Neon Pencil, and Story, A New Day. We've got that same color Fright Night on Dramaturg, our DK. So I know Halloween's not for a little while, but you want to be prepared. Ooh, bringing out the February colorway on Showstopper. We've got Love You to Pieces. Alright, this is halfway. We've got Box Office Worsted Weight. We've got some foliage. Kind of put us on the map a couple years ago. And now it's not dyed up as often. Alright, number 6 this week we've got Showcase in Cherry Blossoms. I did, if you remember last year, I did Pure Joy by Joji Locatelli out of this and another coordinating color. We've got an intermission skein of Showstopper in Drama Queen, because everybody's got a little bit of Drama Queen in them. This would be great for striping into a shawl or adding cuffs, heels, or toes to socks. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've got Diva again in a nice gray London Fog. Make a beautiful shawl. And then Spotlight, which is our 80% superwash BFL, 20% nylon. Really great for socks, especially if you're going to be wearing them in shoes or if you have somebody who's hard on their socks. This is in the colorway Seaweed. Well, we got 2 more. Alright, on Spotlight again, we got a beautiful blue Dreamweaver, and it's got the slightest hints of just barely purple underneath this colorway. And then another skein of Showstopper Intermission in the Lightning Bug. Because I don't know about you, but we've had a ton of lightning bugs around us if you go out at night. They are just all over the place, so very, very appropriate. So there's a whole basket of other goodies that are up in the shop. Not gonna lie, that's what we didn't show you. So I definitely say follow me on Instagram or Facebook or Ravelry to see more up to date as things are added to the shop. But you can always find the shop. It's always open at leadingmenfiberarts.bigcartel.com. So we hope you enjoyed today's show, and we will see you again in
A little less than 2 weeks.
Yeah, it'll be 2 weeks, because next... Well, it'll be a little bit... It'll probably be 2 weeks, because I'll be in Missouri through Sunday, so we'll figure it out. 2 weeks-ish, we'll see you. But until then...
We hope you
knit something dramatic.